This is Mr. Red Fox here, and this is a video that I'm making talking about how, essentially speaking, the general um, format, scoring system, just almost every part of reviews needs to be changed. The timing, everything. And I'm going to give some examples of reviews that kind of games that were reviewed highly, but in hindsight aren't very good, and how we can basically some solutions on how to fix the problem. So without much ado, let's get into it after the cut. So let's get to it. There's a lot of games that have come out that are highly reviewed, and then basically when they come out, and then basically in hindsight, a lot of gamers realize, and even the people who review the games realize, these games kind of suck. So without much ado, I'm going to give you 3 examples of games that were reviewed highly, and then when the game came out, people came to the realization that these games were, how can I put this, ass. So the first game I'm going to talk about is GTA 4. Okay, now GTA 4 is not terrible. It's not. Really, it's only the it's the least egregious offender on this list of 3 games. GTA 4 is not terrible. It's just not the best GTA ever. A lot of features that were in previous titles kind of are missing from this game. So if you're a fan of certain things in GTA 5, GTA 4 kind of shits the bed, kind of, on certain features that were in previous installments. You can't really own property in the game. The driving's not that good. The mini games, the quirky sense of humor is gone. I mean, the game just kind of, I mean, it's there, but it's not as well put together. So, you know, but when the game came out, it was reviewed highly by most people. As a matter of fact, you know, certain websites are like, yeah, this game is game of the year, it's the best thing ever. I don't think that's a fair summation to make about a GTA game. I think it's cheap and, well, frankly, kind of, it's unfair to rank that game as being, you know, one of the best games ever when, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not very good. Another example, one that's, I feel, a bit more egregious, is perhaps something like a, Dragon Age 2. Now, some websites, I mean, in hindsight, a lot of websites are like, that game sucked. But some websites, especially if you go to IGN, people are like, yeah, this is a great game. Really? I mean, I think we can all agree that Dragon Age 2 is terrible. I mean, really, really bad. And, I mean, most people would agree that Dragon Age 2 is not a good game. And yet, when it came out, some places reviewed it highly. Yes, it's a great game. This game is a worthy successor to the Dragon Age name. Now, I mean, today, no one would say that, but people said this when the game came out. There are reviews. You can go and look it up, where it's highly scored by certain people. And that's not cool. That's not cool. Which culminates with my third example, which is, you know, something like a Final Fantasy V. No, not Final Fantasy V, Final Fantasy 15. Final Fantasy 15 is not a bad game, but does it hold true to the tenets of previous Final Fantasies? No. And you can't really, you know, call it that. It isn't. It isn't that. And yet, I mean, you know, people are reviewing it highly. Will it be as held in high esteem, you know, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Probably not. which begs the question, um, why do games that are less than stellar get good reviews? Well, I mean, part of it is it behooves certain developers and not developers, um, gaming websites. It behooves them to basically um, hype up certain games. Um, they have to make it look good. Like, you cannot be a gaming website and basically say, review a game and review it poorly. For example, with the online issues that GTA Online had when it came out, that game should have been eviscerated, and yet IGN basically reviewed the story portion and then gave kind of an aside to the online portion. Now, I mean, is that fair? No. Is it equitable? No. But they did it. I mean, they actually did that. It's shady as hell, but they did it. Now, with these issues with the online um, gaming community, like how they basically review games, what are some solutions? Well, I'll get to that after the cut. So, what are some solutions to this problem? Well, I mean, I have a couple of ideas. I don't know if most of these, one of these ideas probably wouldn't be feasible. One of them I think would. Basically, my first idea is, instead of rushing to get games out, to meet a deadline, I think that automatically when a game is in development, you should have like a concrete deadline and then add another 6 months to that. So when the game goes gold, a review version of that game is given out. So if a game is basically like RPG, something that's time consuming, and that if you really want to get the full depth and scope of the game, it's going to take, years. I don't think it's fair to expect a game like that to be, a certain way day one. Like it's like you can't review a 80-hour RPG in 2 or 3 days. Okay, you can't. You just don't have the, or even a week really. Like you can't review a JRPG in just a week. Like it takes more than that to review a game. And to be fair, reviewers aren't playing most games like you or I would play a game, okay? Because they're doing this, they're doing that. They're not really going into the depths of what this game is. And I mean, nothing against reviewers, but I mean they aren't. So maybe when a game is being developed, they say, okay, look, here's our development cycle says this game will be finished in 3 years. We will basically make it so that, after 3 years, we'll have a point of the game that's gold. Once the game goes gold, we're going to have it go, okay, well, the game is gold, but guess what? We also have this portion of the game that's going to let us do, we're gonna hand this review copy out, and this game's an MMO, or this game's a strategy RPG, or this game's a straight up RPG that has like 80 plus hours of gameplay. Okay, then, well, this person is gonna have to play this game, for months. I think that would be a more viable option than just, oh, well, we just played the game and I rushed through it. Because, I mean, how well are you going to be able to describe the depth and breadth of a game if you're rushing to play through it? You're not really playing it like a normal person would. You get what I'm saying? And that's one of the problems I have with a lot of games these days. A lot of reviews. People are like, I'm going to review this JRPG, and I beat it in 30 hours. It's like, yeah, but it's an 80-hour game. well, I'm like, I don't know how you beat this game in 80 hours. It's amazing because the game within and of itself is like an double digits long ass game. You can't do it in 30 hours. Well, I did. Nah, I don't think you did. My other solution to this problem would be doing something like um, basically, even though a game comes out, for games that take a longer time to review, I think the game should be played for maybe a bit longer. The full review should be given out sooner. Should be given out later. Like I think they should give like a first impression, and then a full review should be later. That's what I think. So let's say you're reviewing Kingdom Hearts 3. That's not coming out till next year, but Kingdom Hearts 3. I don't think that game. I don't think anyone can give that game a good review when it just came out. Just a few when they can when they had their hands on it for a week before it comes out. And I'm not a Kingdom Hearts fan, but even I know that game takes longer than a week to play and beat and find everything and enjoy the nuance and depth of the game. I don't think it's fair to basically make the assumption that, oh, well, this game is going to, do X, Y, or Z at this time. It's not cool. But, that's my own personal opinion. You can agree or disagree. I really don't care. So, those are my two solutions. I'll give you my wrap up after the cut. So let's get to the conclusion. So basically, we have an issue of games being released and reviewed highly when in retrospect they probably aren't that good. How to fix this? Well, like I said, the best way would be to either give reviewers more time to review the games, especially if they're long, time-intensive games. Like if you're reviewing like a Metroid 2 Samus Returns or something that can be beaten in like 8 or 9 hours, okay, fair enough. You can review that and, you can give someone a week. They can knock that shit out. But if you're talking like something that's time-consuming or a first-person shooter, something that's going to take a long time, not to play, but like a first-person shooter is not going to be the same now when it first releases versus what's it's going to be later on. And that's just the way it is, that's just that's the nature of the beast. So it's not fair to expect a full review, or to even read a review and say, well, that's the way it's going to be, because it's different. A lot of things have changed. So my idea is essentially go do something different with it. Do something a little bit more, have games take a little bit longer to review. Give reviewers more time. Or, do a partial review for a game when it first comes out, but don't give a score, so people actually have to read shit. And then, a year later, come back after putting some decent time into a game that has some depth and complexity and say, look, this game does not have this much, we did this, and we need more time to do X, Y, or Z or whatever, and, give a more complete review. I think that would be fair to people, and both to the games, to the gamers, and to the reviewers, and the people who made the game. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but that's how I feel. So those are my opinions. I guess we can get to upcoming events. We will be doing BS Busters this Saturday, 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also will be doing the Sci-Fi Power Hour-ish Sunday, 7:30 to 9 o'clock. Sometimes we go a little bit over, but generally speaking, that's the time for that game, that podcast. So look forward to that. Stay tuned next week. I'll probably be uploading a review for Happy Time Murders, because, you know, reasons. So, yeah, peace, good day, rate, comment, share, subscribe. If you want to be alerted to when I upload new videos, which I try to upload something every week aside from the podcasts, ring the bell. Tap on that bell icon. That'll keep you informed about upcoming content, stuff like that. Newly released content, etc., etc. So that's the end of the video, and peace.